Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the MotoGP world lately. Yamaha's shift to an 850 cubic centimeters machine has everyone talking, and honestly, it's a move that's both bold and a bit risky. But what's really caught my attention is the focus on the chassis. Personally, I think this is where Yamaha is playing the long game. It's not just about the engine, though, let's be real, that's a big part of it, but the chassis is where the magic happens in terms of handling and rider feel. And that's exactly what Augusto Fernandez is hinting at when he talks about regaining that front-end feel. What makes this really interesting is that Yamaha seems to be acknowledging a step backward in their chassis performance compared to their inline predecessor. In my opinion, this is a rare moment of transparency from a factory team, and it shows they are serious about fixing what's broken. Now, let's break this down a bit. Fernandez mentions they are building the chassis and trying to make it different from this year's model. One thing that immediately stands out is the admission that last year's bike was better in terms of chassis. This raises a deeper question. Why did they move away from something that worked? Was it purely to accommodate the new engine, or was there a bigger strategy at play? What many people don't realize is that chassis development is just as critical as engine performance, if not more so, because it directly affects how the rider interacts with the bike. If you take a step back and think about it, Yamaha's current struggles could be a result of trying to balance two competing priorities, power and handling. And let's be honest, they've clearly prioritized the former at the expense of the latter. Another detail I find fascinating is Fernandez's comparison between the 850 cubic centimeters and the current 1000 cubic centimeters V4. He believes the 850 cubic centimeters has more potential, which is a pretty bold statement considering the 1000 cubic centimeters is their flagship machine. What this really suggests is that Yamaha might be betting big on this new project. But here's the thing, switching to a smaller displacement engine isn't just about reducing power, it's about rethinking the entire package. From my perspective, this could be Yamaha's way of hitting the reset button and addressing both their engine and chassis issues in one go. It's a risky move, but if it pays off, it could redefine their competitive edge. Now, let's talk about the broader implications. Yamaha's decision to bring in riders like Andrea Dovizioso for testing shows they are leaving no stone unturned. Dovizioso's experience could be invaluable in fine-tuning the chassis, especially given his history with Ducati's handling-focused philosophy. And then there's the 2027 lineup with Jorge Martin and Ogura, two riders who are no strangers to pushing bikes to their limits. This raises another interesting point. How will this new machine suit their riding styles? Martin's aggressive approach and Ogura's precision could either make or break the bike's success. Personally, I think this lineup is a calculated risk, but it's one that could pay dividends if the chassis lives up to the hype. Finally, let's zoom out for a second. Yamaha's struggles aren't unique. Every manufacturer faces trade-offs between power and handling. But what's unique here is their willingness to publicly acknowledge their weaknesses and pivot so dramatically. In my opinion, this is a sign of a team that's not just reacting to problems, but proactively reshaping their future. The 850 cubic centimeters project isn't just about 2027, it's about laying the foundation for the next decade of MotoGP. And that, my friends, is what makes this story so compelling. It's not just about a new bike, it's about a new era for Yamaha. So, here's my closing thought. Will this chassis-focused approach be the key to Yamaha's resurgence? Or will it be another chapter in their ongoing struggle? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, I'll be watching every step of the way.